Well, my intro doesn't seem to be working today. And I do not know why. Can't get it to start. Um,
I got some wrecking to do. I'll meet you at the finish line.
No, wait! Fix it! Get behind me!
One more.
I'm not through with you yet. Up we go! Oh, look at that, it's little friend. Let's watch the side together, shall we?
No!
It's game over for both of you.
No. Just for me. I'm bad, and that's good. I will never be good, and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me.
You fools! Why are you going into the lot? No, yes, no, yeah, no. Go into the lot.
we love you, Susan. You cunt. Okay. I know there's some subjects that I am going to be addressing this week, but I want to address an apology first. I did a naughty on Ghost Tactical's channel. Ghost, I'm sorry. I do understand your channel, your rules, and that was the end of that discussion. My channel, my rules, there's certain words I don't allow here too. So, I apologize. Okay, I'm done. Moving on. Welcome to 19 July 2023. Oh, God, is it really? It's like Groundhog's Day. All right. So the frame or receiver rule is already going back to court. Now, I am not actually going to show it. God damn it. I closed that tab. All right. Make sure it's aligning properly. One of these days, I'm actually going to pretend like I know what I'm doing here. That's better. Frame or receiver rule is going back to court. All right. First of all, what happened? You need to know what happened, of course. What happened was that the ATF decided that they were going to change the rules, regulations, on frames and on receivers, specifically addressing 80% receivers. So they changed it in such a way that it would be anything that could be turned into a frame or receiver. They were also smart enough to get around the fact that receiver is not a universally accepted term, and people will try to get around regulations by clever wordage. You don't believe me? That's fine. For the last 30 odd years, several cartridges that were developed for the military have been referred to as sporting rounds or hunting rounds because they're good for sporting and hunting too, sport shooting and hunting too. All right, the same things that make them good military rounds make them good hunting rounds and target shooting rounds and everything else on Earth. So they just started referring to it as that. Also, if I recall correctly, the ATF themselves established that precedent by the what is it? Sporting use. Excuse me. Term in their regulations. And you know what? That's fine. I'm totally understand that part. Coming and going, I totally understand that. But moving on, the ATF decided they were going to change the rules. No, you don't get to change the rules just because you don't like the way the game is coming out. That's not how it works. I really do not like the group behind the fight to reverse the frame or receiver rule. I mean, I really fucking hate them. All right. So I'm not going to give them any special applause. They don't deserve it. They wouldn't be in court now if they respected their supporters. Oh, that's what Carrie's been so pissed about. Yeah. But they're right. This rule is absolutely wrong and it needs to be fought to the last man of the last round. No pun intended. I said exactly what I said there, Apple. Sometimes people, you should feel bad for Apple. She's got to deal with me. Hey, Wasp. Welcome. Oh, and welcome to anybody who's going to be seeing this in rerun, which is like 90% of people. All right. Wasp says receiver rule: holes in a block of metal or plastic, and you created a firearm. Well, that's pretty close. Except that that's not what they said. They said it didn't even have to have holes. You just had to have it with the intention of doing exactly that. Now, same group that I just talked so much shit about, something like 10 years ago, we're testifying in front of the California state legislature, state senate, I think, but don't hold me to the. It might have been a joint session. It might have been the. God damn it. The not representatives. The other house, which I cannot remember the name for off the top of my head. At any rate, they were testifying in front of California legislature. What they had on the table was a block of, I think, aluminum. Might have been steel. I might be wrong about that part. It was about a foot long, about 3 inches wide, about, well, maybe 4 inches tall. It was literally just that. It was a block of aluminum, I think. And if you saw that testimony, you'd know, oh yeah, somebody took a block of aluminum that was about 4 inches tall by 2 inches thick, and God knows how long, and cut it into a section about 6 inches long. It was a pretty clearly a rough cut. Well, hello there, C&T. What's sup, perps? Oh yeah, that would be me. I just ain't been caught yet. We love you, Susan. You cunt. Anyway, so they're testifying in front of the legislature about how this is a frame or receiver under the new California law. Yeah, actually, they were exactly correct. You can mill out a AR-15 receiver. You could mill out a bunch of AK receivers, although you'd be milling out a whole bunch of them because that was a lot of metal to get through. You can mill out, at least in theory, you could have milled out an M1 or M14 receiver. You could mill anything out of that you wanted. All right, you could run it through a machine to flatten it out for AK receivers a lot more, a lot less wastefully than you could milling them out. That's, oh my God, that's a lot of work for no actual reason. Why, thank you, Wasp. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry. Thank you, Wasp. I appreciate that. And believe me, you're in extremely good company around here if bringing down the class is your goal. All right. I have literally told people not only to do themselves and pause, find a permanent solution to their temporary problems, unpause, but I've told them how, and in the worst and nastiest possible ways. And if you know what that means, you know what I just said. Moving right along. All right, so that was California's frame receiver rule. ATF basically tried doing the same thing on the national scale. And, well, FPC said, no, you don't get to do that. We're not just going to sit back and let you do something that is fundamentally illegal. And the answer is still no. Last week, a judge granted an order to vacate the rule. Woohoo! This is great. This is wonderful. Right? I talked about that last week. Well, Monday, things changed again. If my timeline's off, correct me appropriately to the circumstances. But I learned about it Monday that the situation had changed very, very much. And that the judge has granted a stay of execution. Stay of execution? Stay of enforcement on his own order for 7 days so that respondents, that's the ATF, can seek legal recourse. Okay. So, yeah. This thing is not only headed back to court, but it's going to head back to a much larger court. Now, Ninth Circuit has shown a tendency for a schizophrenic response to gun laws. All right. Sometimes they'll say yes, and sometimes they'll say no. It also seems to depend on if you have a single judge or an en banc or a full court. En bancs seem to get the big no and fuck offs more often than the other two options, so that might be an issue. Hey, Walt. Welcome. Where was I? Oh. Yeah. It's only funny because it's true. And if you are on the Ninth Circuit, you might want to take heed of this. It's only funny because it's true. Okay. Where was I? This will have to end up in front of the Supreme Court. Now, the Supreme Court over the last few years has shown a tendency towards saying, no, you don't get every restriction you want. You got to prove to us that you need this one. It started really with Heller versus DC. I mean, that was the one that blew up the dam. All right. Blown up dam. Still an obstruction in the river. It'll still cause some issues with the flow of the river, but it's still blown up. All right. And you're not getting this one back. But it got worse. Since then, they pulled out the chunks of concrete one by one. Now, I'm still going to say that if the various 2A groups would just return a phone call, an email, or a certified snail mail. Actually, it was overnight, because overnight was the only thing that my local post office would guarantee me tracking on. Oh, yeah, that's how I know it arrived, so don't lie to me. They wouldn't be in this position at all. But then again, me being the way I am, I just assume that they want to be in this position for the same reason that Moms Demand Blood Money does. We love you, Susan. You cunt. Damn. Okay. Where was I? This is going to end up on the Supreme Court. Now, they're going to say no. The Supreme Court, as it stands right now, is going to say no. You can't do that. But it's got to get there first, and it's got to get there before certain other things happen. I think y'all can take a wild guess at what I'm thinking there. I love you, Susan. The faster it can get there, the better off we all are. I can't believe I'm fucking about to say this. Fuck! I need Squatch in here to say these words for me, because if you can give them a couple dollars for this fight, you won't hear any bad words out of me of you. That's the closest I can come. Nope. That's the closest I can come. If you give them a couple dollars for that fight, then I won't say anything about you. I'll say a whole lot about them, and none of it's very nice. All right. But I won't say anything bad about you. I've given them what I'm going to give them. They don't want to respect their supporters. Fine, fuck them. I'll move on. I've done it since then. I've done it before that. Little tweet needed to get. I needed to take a little tweeter out of my life. Oh, okay. I'm going to catch up. All right. CNT points out that if you throw enough stones in a river, you have a dam. That's not quite how it works, but kind of a little bit. Oh, excuse me. I'm belching because I've been drinking. And all right, this thing is going to go back before the court very, very soon. It's going to end up on the Supreme Court's docket sooner or later. There's just no way to avoid that at this point. And that's the point. I'm also going to say something else. And I'm talking about the ATF. I'm talking about no mandate, Creepy Joe, all the rest of them. They are fighting this battle with the literally unlimited deep pockets of public treasury. They can fight this battle until the last penny. And when they run out of public treasury in the moment, they can sell treasury bonds, state and federal treasury bonds. They can raise as much money as they want by just saying, I now have money. It's called deficit spending. And if you think that's not a real thing, when in 2003, when I was at that first small boat station, we were literally told by the XO that he'd rather deficit spend than return budget for the year. So if we could think of anything the station needed, come tell him. And by goddamn, I got my brown sheet signed off. He only signed off half of the brown. Yeah, he only approved half of it. That's okay. I still got my brown sheet qualification signed off. Thank you very much, BM1. Senior chief now. FPC, on the other hand, is literally dealing with the funds that they have. They cannot deficit spend. It's actually illegal for them to deficit spend. Yeah. I don't know how much it's going to take to fight that battle, but I know it's a lot more than they'll ever see in their lives. Moving on. Oh yeah, if you can spare a couple dollars, don't let me stop you. Just don't expect me to join you. Sorry, it's that way. It's got to be that way for me. It's almost a matter of, I wish it was just anybody other than them. Okay. This frame or receiver rule has to be destroyed and go away forever. This nonsense has to end a long time ago. They've also been the ATF has also been granted a stay of enforcement on the order, which means they can go right back to what they were doing before, which the judge has already said, actually, no, you can't do that. That's illegal. But you can do it until I say you can't anymore, which doesn't make sense. Okay. I'm going to switch subjects here for a second. It's not on the list, but on a related subject, the FBI has lost the public. The FBI currently is running at about 37% approval rating. To give you an idea of how bad that is, if it was anything, any for-profit of any sort, or any non-profit, like Salvation Army or whatever, Salvation Army or whatever, they'd be out of business. They would not be able to make ends meet because they could not get people in the door to give them money. It's that bad. Anything below 45% is when you hit the panic button and start calling in the PR specialists. The people that they give millions of dollars to improve their image. Give you an idea, Bud Light as of this time last week, was doing better. That's terrible. It's worse amongst conservative groups. That's true. I don't care what the excuses are. When your approval rating hits 37% across the board, or averaged out, or whatever the hell it was, you're dead in the water. Whatever it is that you're doing, you need to stop fucking doing that yesterday. Oh. You know, I only drink these out of spite. I don't actually like them. Ooh, wait. Okay, C&T does not like the Seventh Circuit, and I don't blame him. I don't really like any of them right now. Wasp says the state of Delaware just appealed their AW case to SCOTUS. You know what? I don't even need to hear the name. Whatever organization is fighting that battle, all they had to do was return a message. There's one of these groups in particular. I'm not going to name names. I called them out publicly and I asked them why they don't respond to messages. And they got back to me the same day and said, "What do you mean? We don't know." Well, maybe you should look in your and resend it, please. Well, you know what? Maybe you should look in the spam folder. Oh, okay. Yeah, we looked in the spam folder. It was there. Huh. I'm so silly. We're so sorry. That was their public address. Now, that was their public contact email address. Are you really telling me that your spam folder, that all of your first contacts are going straight to spam? Well, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty good. That's excellent news. Hey, let me tell you just how impressed I am with your customer service. But moving right along. Okay, enough about my 2A organization bashing. Gee, Carrie, can you ever let that go? No. Where was I? I was moving into small channel announcement. Okay, I gotta look at a calendar here real quick to make sure I give you all the correct dates. One of my live streams is not canceled so much as it's gonna not happen. Lol, what? The live stream normally scheduled for 16 August 2023. That's the third Wednesday in August. It's going to be a premiere instead. I'm having a very, very special guest. All right, this is first of all, this is a very special guest. Second of all, this special guest has a very important message that has got to be heard. How do I put this politely? He's the cheapest motivational speaker on earth, but he's also going to tell you something you needed to hear. Well, let's see. 52 years ago. He's going to tell you something that you should have heard 52 years ago. All right. You should have heard it in grade school, in high school. For those of you who went to college, you should have heard it there. None of you have ever heard heard this message in your life, and you need to hear it. You need to get this message. He's going to tell you something. Yeah, and you better shut up and listen, because I do. And I'm mentally ill. I don't listen to anybody. I don't even listen to the voices in my head. Although sometimes they have interesting ideas. It's a good place to start from. They thought getting this shirt was a good idea. Sometimes they're right. All right, moving on. Whoa. Well, actually, yes, I guess that. Oh. Okay. CNT Designs is doing a Polymer 80 build live on Rumble this weekend. CNT, I'm going to give you a wrench for about 15 or so minutes so you can put a link to that up on the channel. I mean 15 or so minutes. No. Motherfuckers. Okay, there it is. Yeah. I'm going to give you that for about 15 minutes so that you can put a link up. All right? And then I'm taking it back. Damn. Ugh. I do not like Polymer 80. There it goes. I don't like Polymer 80. I am underwhelmed. On the other hand, they're the only option out there, or the only real option out there. And that sucks too. There may or may not be vodka in this cherry Coke. I'm just saying. Yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit. All right. Also, P80 is associated with that group, one of the two main groups that decided not to return the messages under any circumstances. Yeah. Moving on. All right, so 16 August is going to be a premiere. It will not be a live stream, but I cannot emphasize enough. Please tune in for that one. If you ignore everything else you ever see on this channel, please tune in for that one. You need to hear what Mr. Aguest is going to say. Oh, excuse me. That cue line in a country song. Put a little vodka in that cherry cola. I don't know what the cue line is, but I'm going to go with it. Okay. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to pin that, at least for the duration of the stream. No, God damn it. Susan, can't you do anything right? All right, are we going to... There he goes. All right, so folks, go ahead and check that out. Hey, guess what? I have moderator powers too. Uh, well, yeah, that too. But motherfuckers. Oh, hey, yeah, right there. Carrie, pay some attention, Carrie. Make sure. Oh, okay. That's hey, Ozzy. There's a line. Yeah, we're all late and gay around here, Oz. Sorry, but no, not that one, you stupid whores. Okay, sorry, C&T, but I got to take it back. Where was I? Okay, well, that's that. Then, where am I? Oh, wow, I'm only at 36 minutes. That's awesome. So I'm going to make some shit up to talk about. Actually, I'm not going to make some shit up. First of all, if your way of introducing yourself to a complete fucking stranger is to tell them to go fuck themselves, you are the problem in your life. You need to fix that. There is a war going on in the Ukrainian-Russian border region. Fair enough? Okay. I have an opinion about this conflict. Okay. Fair enough. I posted a meme involving people who are not connected to the conflict at this time. And a certain individual decided that because I did not, that my meme did not include either Zelensky or Putin, put it very bluntly, Putin and Zelensky were not in that meme. All right. So, because the one that he doesn't like was not in the meme, obviously I was one of his sycophants. Sycophants? Was that the word he used? You know what? I'm not gonna look it up right now. Kind of. Wasp. That's kind of true. The Wasp is saying Ukraine is the new Afghanistan. Kind of. Probably a good idea if we didn't let things get that direction one way, the other, or a third. I'm just saying. Moving on. At any rate, because my mem did not include the one that this particular individual does not like. Obviously, I'm one of his sycophants. And he said it in the rudest possible way that Fascist Book will not remove your comment for. Well, fuck you, you little shitbag. You have a lot of goddamn nerve speaking to me under any circumstances now. Here's a pro tip for life. I'll say it one more time. If your way of introducing yourself to a complete fucking stranger is to tell them to go fuck themselves, you are the problem in your life. Fix that. And if you cannot fix that, you need to find a permanent solution to your temporary problem. Yes, I do know what I just said. Okay, Wasp. Let's talk about that later. Okay, well, let's talk about that part later, where I'll tell you what I'm really thinking right now. Okay, there we go. I'm caught up. Moving on. The point of this is, and let me be as vulgar as I can fucking be. Your way of telling if your fucking way of telling a complete fucking stranger is to tell them to go fuck themselves, you're the fucking problem in your fucking life. Fix that shit. Permanently. One fucking way or another. Here's a bit of friendly advice in that direction. If you've never spoken to somebody before and they say something maybe you don't like, ask the question and do so respectfully. Ozzy, you don't even want to know this YouTube show I'm thinking about hosting right now. Knot tying is a significant part of that show. 13 times. Okay, well, words. Well, yeah. Ozzy points out border disputes have been a thing for Russia since the 8th century. It's a lot older than that. Like, a lot older. Try 2nd century BC-ish. That sounds about right. Maybe a little bit, like a half century in either direction. But roughly speaking, around the time Rome came a calling. And you know what? That's never going to change. Border disputes, for those of you that don't know, like months after the Saigon fell, the fall of Saigon, Vietnam and China had a border dispute, and a pretty bad one, seeing as how it was 2 battalions of infantry and a tank company. I think it was a tank company, and it just went absolutely fucking ridiculous for China. China. The entire tank company got stuck in a mountain pass because they didn't have the ability to navigate the tanks without sticking their heads out of the turret, where the sniper was taking the tank commanders out. I'm not joking. One sniper took out the entire armored column. It's fucking insane. It really is. The commanding officer of the entire operation was a colonel, because of China's philosophy at the time. The colonel did not have anything that identified him as a colonel or as being in charge. He was, to the average Chinese soldier, no better than a common private. So nobody knew to take his orders. Yeah. That entire operation was nothing but a fiasco. For those of you that are aware that, well, first of all, When 1979 Vietnam feels that you are such a horrible person that they have a right to intercede in your affairs, you need to really think about your life, the things that uh, that you've been doing. And when the entire fucking world agrees with them, no, you don't. It's not even. It's past time to think about your life and the things that you've done. It's time to just give up entirely. So when Vietnam invaded Cambodia to wipe out Khmer Rouge, I think that finally ended in 83 or 1983 or 84. You really got to step back and say, wait a second, how evil were these people? All right. That would be like Mussolini standing up to Hitler, or Hitler standing up to Stalin. So some legitimately bad fucking people. And the entire world stepped back and said, yeah, that's fine, we agree. You do what you're going to do. Do what you want to do. What most people don't realize is that started as a border dispute. Hanoi wouldn't have given a flying fuck if the Khmer Rouge had stayed on their own side of that border. But they didn't. And that was a problem. Wasp was saying Cambodia did the same thing. I will ask Papa Kerry about that. He will have forgotten more about that subject than I will ever learn in my life. For one thing, Papa Kerry was in Vietnam at that time. Granted, he was way, way out in the bush, but he was in Vietnam at that time. So, yeah, he will have forgotten more than I'll ever learn. Wasp, hold me to that. Next week or on Discord or something, ask me what he said. Okay. All right, I'm going to move on to the definitions section, because the definition section is so huge, so ridiculously big. First of all, as word count, that section I'm pretty sure is bigger than any other section in some combined. It's ridiculous. Even I can't truly handle it. And it would also have helped if I'd opened that folder before I came in here. Load to MC, PNG file. No, that's shit sandwich. Damn it. Okay. Shit. Sorry, guys. You know, you'd think I'd be used to doing this by now. Oh, there it is. You'd think I'd be a, quote, professional by now. No, that's not it. That's an easy one. Okay. Stop screen. No. Present. There we go. Share screen. Window. Act 3. PNG. I am going to open a different version of this. One that is actually readable at this scale. I got to get around to remaking this one. This is literally just a screenshot. Okay. That was a mistake. Let's try that again. All right. Make sure everything's lined up correctly. So hopefully you can see everything the way it was meant to be, but you can't because I suck at this game. Hey, Squatch. You are late and gay. That's okay. That's the norm around here. Hide that. All right. Firearm. Any weapon that launches projectile or energy. Pistols and handguns. Firearm without a stock. Long arm. Firearm with a stock. 12 inches. 12 and 20 inches. Shotgun. Smooth bore. 12 and 20 inches. Gonna skip. Assault weapon and machine gun. Autocannon. Any machine gun of 50 caliber or larger that needs to be revised. It's based on what a human body can handle. Well, obviously, a human body can handle firing a 50 cal. So that definition isn't going to work anymore. Rotary gun, any rotary multi-barrel firearm, and all other weapons. All right, this is where I want to stop. Any firearm that does not match a classification herein contained shall require an all other weapons permit and registration. Such permits shall be issued upon completion of standard NCIC background check without discovery and exclusion. All peace officers shall be issued a Class 3 permit without other restrictions. Now, first of all, some of that's got to be moved somewhere else. That doesn't make sense being right there, does it? Second of all, I realized last week that there's nothing in here about standard firearms. Bolt action, lever action, pump action, brake action, musket. Well, actually, yeah, I think muskets might be covered, etc., etc. Where the hell are they? They're not here. That's where they're not. So that has got to be addressed. I'm going to try to do this in as few words as possible, so that basically my idea is anything that exists on the day of passage and before is considered standard unless it's actually specifically defined otherwise. That should be simple enough, right? Jesus Christ. Well, let's see if that actually happens, because there's always that guy. But moving right along, anything that comes after that date may have to be addressed separately. Okay. All right. Body armor, other protective gear, handheld. Armor penetrator. Armor penetrator was one I really kind of do get into a little bit. Armor penetrator, any munition proven to penetrate military-grade body armor in 9 out of 10 tests. So you're going to have to test it 10 times. If it doesn't penetrate 9 out of 10 times, it's not an armor penetrator, and it is not in any way restricted. This is to address certain ranges where they say no steel core, because that's an armor penetrator. When like 90% of the steel core ammo out there not only isn't armor penetrator, but isn't intended that way. It wasn't marketed that way. It's not capable of being used that way. But because it's steel core, it's obviously an armor penetrator. No, it is not. You may be able to restrict it at the range level for a different reason. It tears up our berms. It's environmentally destructive, although you'd think lead would be more so. But hey, what do I know? I'm just buzzing me. A million other reasons. But if it cannot penetrate armor in 9 out of 10 tests, it's not an armor penetrator. Suppressor or silencer, any device intended to reduce the noise or noises created by any weapon. That needs to be changed to intended to alter or reduce the noise or noises. It does just as much good as a silencer or suppressor by turning it into the backfire of a car as it does by muting the noise. And now everybody's thinking, that's just the backfire of a car. When no, actually, it was a gunshot. Magazines, it's anything that holds ammo. That would include a pouch for you Civil War reenactors. Magazines of less than 10 round capacity may not be used in long arms except for maintenance and repair purposes, using any type of inert round or for storage in an empty status, or in regulated competition shooting during an organized event. I refer to 10-round mags as concealment mags because they make the gun a lot slimmer, a lot easier to hide. It's that simple. Right. Nancy McCarthy, eat shit. Barrel shroud, any component installed on a firearm or other ranged weapon solely to protect the barrel or like components. If that is its only purpose, then yes, it's a barrel shroud. Forward stock, any covering or extension of a firearm or other ranged weapons intended to protect the user from the effects of the weapon, regardless if it protects the weapon or not. You stupid bitch. It's called a forestock. It's been called a forestock since at least the Revolutionary War era. You dumb fucking cunt. Right. Any item listed here is included under the provisions of this Act, including restrictions on abilities to regulate same. Stop right there. The states will only have the authority to set self-defense standards mostly by setting what is murder, what is second-degree murder, what is manslaughter, what is other crimes. If it doesn't fit into that, it's probably a self-defense case. Concealed carry permit standards, and as you'll see later on, with regard to what are the other 49 states doing, actually 49 and 8 territories. Although the 8 territories will be more of an informal thing. Based on precedent, they'd be more of the informal thing. Oh, excuse me. And that's it. That is literally all they can do. Everything else is addressed in here. And if California and New Jersey especially, Hawaii, want to fight me on this, I'll set their fucking self-defense standards and concealed carry permit standards. It doesn't bother me in the least. I actually want to do that. Oh, oops. Not the thing you want. No mandate. So shut the fuck up. Quit talking shit. Quit lying to everybody. I'll do it. I'll do your job for you as well. All right. This in no way restricts protections to future types of weapons not listed here. Someday the phaser is going to happen. That little clause there protects the phaser. Federal government may require enhanced licensing for the ownership of assault weapons and machine guns, limited to background check and recording of owner's name, home address, weapons make, model, stored location address, serial number, itemized modifications, and stored location and weapons subject to not more than 3 inspections per year. Fight me on this. It'll become 1 inspection every decade. The federal government is only authorized to charge for processing to actual cost of government based on the average cost of the previous 5 years, with said costs publicly declared publicly in all possible formats. That means you don't just get to print it out in PDF form. You got to put it in an HTML form. You got to put it in .doc, .docx, .txt, .jpeg, and PNG, and every other fucking thing on earth. All right. Now I'm going to back up a little bit because there's 2 that cause supporters to really hate me. Assault weapon. Any firearm fed by a detachable magazine. Damn it! By a magazine detachable without the use of tools. I didn't say what the tools had to be. I didn't describe them. Any tool at all. That includes that excludes the bullet button, because whatever it is you use to push the bullet button in is still a tool. Any firearm fed by magazine detachable without the use of tools. Capable of discharging by design alone 2 or more rounds per singular trigger activation. It means automatic and burst. That line used to actually read burst and or automatic. I simplified it to 2 or more rounds per trigger activation. That should be simple enough. Machine gun. Any firearm fed by a continuous feed system. That's it. That's all it says. Now, if you can think of a way to actually lock a belt fed in so that it cannot be continuous feed, good for you. Show me. Can't do it. So don't bother trying. All right. I'm going to go back over the chat. I know you guys have been paying attention to that. You know I have not, because I have been reading. Stop the screen. Present. Share screen. God damn, I am way behind this motherfucker. Don't even start this shit with me, Susan. I don't want to hear your crap. Border disputes covered. Okay. I am not in a position to argue with you about spelling nor pronunciation, but that looks right, Wasp. Campauchia? Something very close to that. Very vaguely remember. Spotch was here, and then I think he ran away because I probably pissed him off. CNT says, then there was 18 and 26 for shotgun. And yeah, okay. So CNT is bringing up an interesting detail. Then there was 18 and 26 for shotgun and 18 and 24 for rifle. Then rifles went to 16 and 24. Stop. He's right. All right. I think he is. I think those numbers are correct. I decided to simplify the one set of numbers. And that set of numbers was established by the United States Army. They chose the SIG Spear as their new rifle in 2 different variants. I think it's 18-inch for infantry and 12-inch or something like that. 12-inch for their carbine version, for use by everybody other than designated infantrymen. Okay, that's fine. But I'm going to hold you to your own word. So, 12 inches or longer barrel length. That's it. I think the 20 inch also comes from the M5's numbers. Now, maybe I could be mistaken, but I do remember that I fixed it on a live stream. So I think that was last year, early part of last year. And unless you can show me why it should be different, it's not moving. By the way, before that, I think it was 18 inches, 18-inch barrel length. Ozzy says California would have had a political test at the beginning, not murder. Yeah, pray for Papa Carey, folks. CNT. All right, so this is oh crap, what is this? Section 3? Every week I read a section of Dataslav. Unfortunately, Title 3, Section 3 is really, really long. Like mind-numbingly, boringly long. I get tired of hearing me talk after 5 minutes of that crap. So, yeah, that's where we're at. I'm trying to shorten it down so I don't bore everybody to tears, myself included. CNT, the definition is insane. There's already a definition for machine gun that has been around since 1934 NFA, and it is wrong. Yeah, it is wrong. It is the definition that was used by Congress because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. CNT, before you get all butthurt on me, think very carefully about what the rest of it is saying. Email me if you don't quite get it. Okay. And I am going to highlight this comment because I vaguely know this story from, I believe it was Forgotten Weapons. I believe it was Forgotten Weapons that talked about exactly this. After World War II, the U.S. government, through the civilian marksmanship program or just as government surplus, or maybe both, it might have been both, sold a shit ton of M1 carbines, and they were out and they were gone, right? Before they all realized, holy shit, these barrels are only 16 inches. We just sold a shit ton of illegal arms. What are we going to do now? Well, rather than piss everybody off and cost a shit ton of money and every other and you can put behind that word, they decided to change the law, made 16 inches the standard. Oh, and by the way, the feds, in their infinite stupidity, their never-ending stupidity. All right, so they took a shit ton of M1s, took the burst fire, so automatic fire kit out, and restamped them M1 carbine. They literally put a 1 over the 2, stamped it. It is now legally an M1. That's fine. That's great. That's wonderful. No, not really. Hold on to that for a minute. They then turned around and sold the automatic trigger kits separately. Back then, it was not illegal to put the kit on. Oops. My maternal grandfather actually had one of those kits and one of those rifles. I know it was buried in his garage somewhere. I guess he permanently lost it because when he passed away, my aunt was the arbiter. Yeah, whatever. The one handling the estate said she never found it, but she did find other guns. She found one other gun, which, for reasons, is being, well, she's not going to offer it. There's certain people she would never ever even speak to, let alone offer. There's a couple others she offered it to, and they declined. And then there's me and my brothers and sisters. And my older brothers passed away. That leaves my younger brother. She hates my sisters and will never, ever, ever speak to them again. And she's not wrong. Pro tip, never turn on family. Don't ever do that. But worse still. So, yeah. I'm in the running to get my grandfather's war trophy gun, handgun. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what model it is. All I know is it was a war trophy. Well, all of Dataslav combined should only take you about 15 to 20 minutes. I really don't give a shit who wrote that piece of crap. It is a piece of crap. And that might be true, but I wouldn't recommend it, Tim. And if you don't believe me, you need to ask Matthew Hoover. You could also ask Alan. Oh my God, I can't believe we forgot his name. Alan. You know what? I will drop it in the description. Gun Control Has Failed, which was my first really significant edit. My first ever edited video. Thank you to MJ Merlin for the editing work on that one. Alan was clip number 4, machine gun. As far as I can tell, Alan is still in prison. So, you do you, boo. But don't try saying I told you to do it. Matthew's version of his events is that he was just a pitch man. He was just a salesman. But he's in prison there. Okay. We are at an hour and 15 minutes. I wanted to emphasize something. The purpose of these streams is to give people a chance to ask me questions. So, yeah, please do. And for God's sakes, please come up with one I can't answer. Relevant questions. I'm looking at you, DM. I am looking at you, DM. Relevant questions. Also, I'm glancing over at you, Squatch. Oops, excuse me. But yes, ask me relevant questions. questions. Sometimes I will be able to get back to you right then and there, usually. Sometimes I will say, could you bring that back up when we go over that section? It is what it is from time to time. I love the tough questions. People don't realize I actually really do love the hard questions. Actually could not answer. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but I want to say Squatch asked one, and well, let me rephrase that. Papa Carey's asked a few that I could not answer, or could not answer easily. And he's asked at least one I still never have answered, and I don't remember what it was. Squatch asked one that I couldn't answer at least in the moment. I might have gotten to it later on. Don't be afraid to ask me questions, right? The way this used to work is I would stream on Thursday morning with the understanding, the expectation that everybody's going to watch it later. Then I'd stream for about an hour in the afternoon because I knew, because I had hoped people would then come in and ask me questions from the morning stream. It never actually happened, and I had to end up changing things around. All right. An example of saying, can we cover this later, but we're also going to cover it now a little bit. Ozzy here asks, thoughts about states holding manufacturers liable for gun crimes? All right. So Ozzy, I pinned that message. So there we go. Is it still going to work? All right, we're good. We're good. Whoops. Shit. Okay. All right. Hi, Macy. Get to you in a second. All right. Ozzy's question. Thoughts about states holding gun manufacturers liable for gun crimes? It won't be a thing after Dataslav passes because there's a specific section that says limitations of liability. Limitation of liability, in short, says if you're not convicted of a crime, you can't be sued for it. That section by itself should also mean that liability insurance is moot and irrelevant. If it were up to me, liability insurance would be banned as well. Fortunately, some cooler heads prevailed. All right. If you're not successfully prosecuted for it, obviously you did nothing wrong. So why can you be held liable for it? But some cooler heads prevailed, and I decided to back down on that question. And we will be going over that, Ozzy. It's section 7 or 11. I can't. No, it's not 11. It must be section 7. And I mean, if the manufacturer didn't commit the crime, they can't be sued for it. They can't, I'm not going to go around in the circle any further. The answer is no. Well, War on Terror actually did have a huge effect until, well, You'll see. War on poverty and drugs, however. Noble intentions do not result in effective anything. All right, Macy, you're late and gay. That's okay. We all are around here. All right. Well, speaking of which, you know what, guys? Since Macy's late and gay today, he's going to ask a question that is on topic. And until then, I'm going to take a look around the rest of what I've got going on. Okay. Slightly off topic, but it was addressed to Ozzy. Is common fornication, nice, really considering the political test concerning murder victims? No, Ozzy was being facetious or sarcastic, or maybe sardonic. He might have been sardonic. Now I ask an on-topic question. And I'm going to try something. I'm not ignoring you guys. Oh, thank you, C&T. There was another subject I wanted to address, and I'm not going to screen share this. I'm just going to tell you what's going on. Los Angeles Times reports that In-N-Out Hamburgers has banned employees from wearing masks. There's a couple of caveats. First of all, it doesn't apply in California and Oregon. They're headquartered in California. So, excuse me. Why they adopted this policy outside of California, it's a little confusing, right? Second of all, they did say that if there was a concern or a legitimate issue, you could wear a mask. And let me see. You know what? I'm going to open up the link on my end. All right. So workers in California and Oregon will be able to mask if they choose. Okay. You know what? You want to wear a mask? Go ahead. Don't let me stop you. Don't let me badmouth you. All right. Don't let me badmouth you. And even if it's just as simple as telling me to go fuck myself, good enough. Want to? Go ahead. To protect themselves from COVID-19 and other illnesses. All right. Employees will no longer be allowed to wear face masks starting 18 August unless they have a medical note. The policy was implemented to help promote clear and effective communication between employees and customers. Okay. Fine. And I will go back to In-N-Out. I will look at the bottom of the cups, by the way. So that's a little hint. And the last time I was in an In-N-Out, well, I'm not going to say where it was. There was nobody literally anywhere that I could see wearing a mask. Now, this was roughly a year ago. So by this point, the point for masks is gone. It's long gone. Nobody was wearing a mask anywhere. Casey, you better have that question ready. If employees want to continue wearing a mask, they must provide a medical note for specific medical conditions or health concerns that requires them to wear a mask to their manager or in and out's human resources department, which means you're going to get fired. If you need a mask, you need to be not working here. Approved employees must wear a company-provided November Tech 95 mask. This I'm going to read verbatim. Dr. Judy Stone, an infectious disease expert and writer, denounced In-N-Out's new policy on Twitter, saying it violated COVID-19 recommendations by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention and endangers employees. It violates COVID-19 recommendations by the CDC. At this point, that sounds like a good enough reason to do it. Okay, I'm going to go over the chat. Okay, Macy, what you missed was that I have a guest coming up. So the 19th of August will be a premiere, not a live stream. Framer receiver rule is heading back to court. Got a little bit into Title 3 because Title 3 definitions is huge. It's just ginormous. It would be a couple of months worth of live streams all by itself. CNT Designs says my definition of machine gun is. Did you say crazy or insane, CT? That was it in a nutshell. Arizona, that mask rule went through. Okay, sorry, I think. All right. Ozzy says, still see people wearing masks outdoors. You know what? Let them. There might be a reason why they're wearing a mask. The reason they're wearing the mask might be that they're contagious. They might be the one that has COVID-19 and is trying to not give it to you. I didn't say that's a good plan. I didn't say it works that way. I said that might be what's going on there. Macy points out, still seeing mask wearers driving alone. And then there's people who are just stupid. My computer is telling me high memory usage has been detected. You gotta be shitting me. Okay. My computer might be shutting down here in a second. Okay. Ozzy says about a certain burger chain had plexiglass barriers up on the counter facing customers. You know what? Certain burger chains tend to be in neighborhoods that you don't walk alone at night. In fact, you don't walk through those neighborhoods at night. I'm just saying. It's fucking huge. Yeah, shut down. My computer is coming up on 3 years old, and it was literally the cheapest thing that AFES had to offer. And it might just be over its mechanical limits. What really sucks is it was supposed to be just a screen and keyboard for a tower. I could take the screen and keyboard with me and go somewhere and do something, and then come home, plug into the tower, and the tower would take over from there. It's not working out that way because I don't know how to make that work. It's not that old. Jesus, Ozzy, you want to drag my computer out behind the barn and shoot it? Oh my God. Antique. My God. All right. Well, you know what? Ozzy, for being late and gay today, you're going to come up with a question for next week. Oh, I say that every week. You're late every week. Everybody, I want you to tag Ozzy in a comment and tell him to come up with a question. No, tag Macy in a comment. Tell him to come up with a question. There we go. A relevant question. Looking at you, DM Fuss. Kind of glancing at you, Squatch. Okay, Ozzy. I get it now. I got it. Ozzy's fucking with me, folks. It's pointing out the fact that we're a little bit older than most of you. He's pointing out the fact that the two of us remember the... Okay. I remember the pet. He remembers the Canadian version of the pet. Then again, well, no. Okay. We are coming up on an hour and 30 minutes. And small announcement is there's going to be an upload this weekend in which I will be addressing something else that Macy missed. That whole rant about if your way of introducing yourself to a complete stranger is to tell them to go fuck themselves, you're the problem in your universe. I'm going to be talking about that very, very in depth. Like screenshots, but with names blurred out. Yeah. Because fuck you, you lying little cocksucker. I mean, fuck you, you little piece of shit bag. I mean, we love you, Apple. We love you, Apple. You guys should feel bad for Apple from time to time, and today's one of those times. She has to put up with me. She's getting paid to put up with me, and she did ask for the job. But at the end of the day, she still has to put up with me. You got to admit, that's a little bit harsh on anybody. We love you, Susan. You cunt. All right, so we're an hour and a half. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Remember, if your way of introducing yourself to complete strangers, tell them to go fuck themselves. You are the problem with your universe. Solve that. Belches feel good. Frame or receiver, It's headed back to court, and it will probably die permanently and dead in the Supreme Court if it can get there within about a year and a half. The definition of machine gun under Datislav is continuous feed capability. The definition of assault weapon is fed by a magazine detachable without the use of tools of any sort, and capable of firing 2 or more shots per trigger activation. Those are the 2 really big ones. Everything else is kind of ancillary. All right. One of these days I'm going to figure out how to make that flowchart work on Microsoft Word so that you can kind of follow it. In-N-Out has banned masks, except in California and Oregon. I was very, very impressed with them. I saw In-N-Out mask rule on it. Oh, God, here we go again. And it was exactly the opposite of what I was expecting. Very, very impressed. I'm going to check out that last comment. Whoa, wait, hold up. Okay, what is Congress doing about the ATF jumping so far out of their jurisdiction concerning the arming of this citizenry? Okay, anything to do with alcohol, tobacco, and firearms is ATF jurisdiction. So I'm not sure what you're talking about there. As for ATF overreach right now, this Congress, are you fucking kidding me? If anything, this Congress is lining up to fight that battle for them. Not get them back on their leash. No. This Congress is trying to clip their leash and cut the collar off. And then prod them in the ass with a shock collar, cattle prod, for not doing enough. I am not familiar with this case, Ozzy, so can you contact me on Discord and I will take a look into this? Unless you're talking about the Coloma retail case, in which case he's gone to prison. That's it. There's nothing I can do for him. Motherfucker, show it. I want to contribute to this cause on the condition that you make meeting bloke on the range a priority within 1 month of arrival. Yeah. I want to contribute to this cause. Actually, I want to contribute to this cause anyways, but I need an excuse to light a fire under your ass to go find Mike the bloke on the range. Hey, I want to point something else out. For somebody else who is pretending that he doesn't know the channel exists. In Switzerland, you are required to serve, I think it's 4 years in the militia. Well, the system that Switzerland uses, first of all, it is a militia, but it looks more like the American National Guard. You come in 1 weekend a month, you demonstrate that you know how to do your military job, and then you go home. And they give you a few dollars or whatever. Or maybe they don't pay you. Maybe you have to pay to be there. I don't know. I don't care. It's not relevant to me. When you are done with your militia service, when you entered in, you were issued an assault rifle or a machine gun. One or the other. I don't know which. Well, it's dependent on your job. Much more likely an assault weapon. As you are leaving, if you are willing to pay the replacement cost of the weapon plus the cost in labor to pin the gun so that it is no longer automatic, you can keep the gun. You can keep your goddamn gun. Half of fucking Switzerland has assault rifles or pinned, demilled assault rifles in their homes. I'm not even fucking joking. The other half have their issued rifles. Still has an automatic setting and is ready to go to war in, I think it's 12 hours. It gets worse than that. The Swiss had a concept called Pockenschließ. Oh, Mike, please don't hit me. Please don't hit me for how badly I pronounced that word. It means pocket or pouch ammo. You were literally issued a pouch of ammo from the time of the muskets, or a tin of ammo as we entered into the metallic cartridge era. I think it was around 200 rounds in the tins, and remained as such until sometime in the 1990s when they stopped issuing Pockenschließ because of a pretty ugly incident. Okay, fine. That happened. There is still nothing stopping you from buying your own ammo. You're issued your rifle, you buy your own ammo, you go to the range on your own, right? And you're fine. And I can see that they might just reverse the Pockenschließ rule and start issuing it out again, especially with what's going on right now, a couple of countries east of there. Yes, Macy, Mike, the channel name is Bloke on the Range. And give me a second, I might just get you the link. Really, fucking Susan, can't you just put these in alphabetical order? Ask Alan Hart was the Alan, I couldn't remember the name of. Control F. Below. There we go. Copy link. StreamYard. Good enough. Look on the range. Don't make me get mad. Finland has mandatory 2-year national service for males, 18 plus. Females have optional service. That it looks mostly correct, but I think it's 4-year national service. But I might be confusing Finland with Lithuania or Latvia. It's kind of a tight neighborhood in there. He's not wrong. It's not wrong. Yeah, hey. Actually, guys, I kind of owe Mike a little bit of a thank you for something he's done for me that was very, very kind and that he didn't have to do. And he said yes anyway. So I'm very, very happy to give you guys that link. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you all a little bit of a story. This channel exists because of Bloke on the Range. Right before I started this channel, and I was still on my personal name, I walked in. I think it was a Tuesday. I see Bloke on the Range has a new video out. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to go check it out. It's about a conversion kit for some 1920s era bolt action rifle, from a larger bullet to a smaller bullet. Oh, okay. That's nice. I don't care. There's another video very much like it. Didn't watch that one. Okay. I went away for a couple days. Right? Or maybe it was a day. I don't care how long it was. I went away. Right? And no new videos from Mike, from Bloke on the Range. Okay, so what? And then a couple days later, and then a couple days after that, all of a sudden, there's this new recommended for you. You fucked up, Susan. You fucked up real bad there. Bloke off the range. Oh, he must have changed the channel name. I wonder why he did that. So I went to check it out, and it turns out that they had nuked his entire channel because of those two videos. They called it advertising. Bullshit, you lie, you feet stinking Jesus hates your ass, Susan. Fuck you. I mean, he was not advertising them. The one I saw, it was quite clear that this box was too old to be in any way. It looked like it had been made in the 1920s, right? And this is 20. I mean, you go ask him, he'll say probably around 2015, 16, somewhere around there, right? That the box was clearly ancient. This is not advertising, you lying cunt. But that pissed me off so much that I started my own channel. Right about that time, I had discovered, well, no, right about the same time, I was watching an in-range TV video about why Pornhub. I'm not joking. That was the title. Why Pornhub. Carl had started a channel on Pornhub, and he made a very, very solid and understandable case for why he did that. It was a free speech issue. Susan pissed me off with this absolute harassment bullshit lie about Bloke advertising gun parts. So I went and started a channel on Pornhub too. I'm not joking. I did that. It would take me about 3 hours to upload the videos that I made because of what my internet looked like at the time. My internet was 2 hamsters and a 3G network. So it was what it was. But in any case, I just, about once a week, I'd make a video and upload it, and that was it. Time has gone on. I realized I had to start uploading to YouTube to even survive. F-bombs all over the place. And what else? And then YouTube or Pornhub nuked something like 48,000 accounts. All unverified accounts were nuked overnight one day. No explanation, no nothing. We were just gone. Oh, well, okay. Fuck you too. Okay. Apparently Nightwish had a sealed ammo box from 1961. Okay, cool. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap it up there. I got about 10 minutes left, and I need to save a few minutes for a special project for this weekend. There will be an upload this weekend. I'm just not exactly sure how. All right. Till next time, keep calm and mandatory carry on.